Hi, I'm August Keller, and this is my review of Deadpool. So, I think Deadpool is both conventional and clever. Each individual key ingredient it has is kind of generic, actually, when you think about it. It's got crude humor, pop culture references, and it's a origins revenge plot. It's a superhero. Superheroes' origins are probably the most played out trope there is at this point, but it's the combination of all those things together that makes it refreshing and kind of subversive. It's got meta awareness, and its protagonist is very saucy, so that helps it kind of hit this same but different balance that wide audiences really like. So it has subversive satire, which is kind of debatable because it spoofs yet also employs a lot of tropes. Um, and the jokes kind of sometimes feel like quantity over quality, but it actually has this earned romance, which actually kind of helps keep the story really engaged, and it's got like a backbone, so that it gives it like some substance, and there's like variation. It's not just these jokes. It's got a little bit of heart. The drama isn't that complex, but it does feel specific to the characters. Their romance feels real between them, and it develops their motivations, especially Deadpool's. There's quippy dialogue, setup and payoff, and the exposition's kind of dispersed pretty well. It's like kind of given out in different chunks, kind of jumps back and forth. And of course, Ryan Reynolds anchors the whole thing with his larger than life snark and has some vulnerable touches too. So, Deadpool's novelty or newness kind of neutralizes its conventionality. It's not as groundbreaking as some people might seem to think, but it's more refreshing than it is generic for sure. Technically, Deadpool constructs really clear tones and set pieces. I think the biggest strength of this movie is how firm a tone it hits. It's action, it's comedy, and it's got touches of drama, and it all works together. It doesn't ever feel like it's one and then the other. It's all kind of all of that at the same time, and it really has a very distinct voice because of that. Um, Despite some drab colors and standard drama scenes, the cinematography does have serviceable framing and angles. Its editing really helps elevate the momentum through brisk pacing and timeline jumping. That's what I was talking about, the exposition being spread out. The timeline jumping really helps with that. And it also has a concise runtime, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. The sound has genre elements, of course, a lot of voiceovers, and a handful of emotional distortions, which makes it feel very proactive. Its music harnesses needle drops to establish humorous juxtaposition. The production design feels a bit plain outside of the core superhero. I mean, there's Deadpool and there's a couple other superheroes, but like the setting doesn't feel all that interesting. And it also feels kind of confined and small, but it's got the superhero stuff, so it's still above average. Um, Besides Reynolds, I'd say almost everyone in this movie is replaceable. Everyone in this movie is replaceable, but Reynolds is such a great casting choice, probably the best choice for this role, that its casting is definitely a big strength of this movie, even if I don't think it's quite a 10 out of 10 because it's just him. I think he alone makes it a 9 out of 10. The effects have stunts, there's a lot of makeup, of course, and the CGI is kind of spotty, but pretty good sometimes, and it all helps establish this fun sense of violence. So altogether, Deadpool is competent, and it's really buoyed. It's like elevated by this exciting brand of irreverent commercialism. It's still commercialism for sure, but the way it combines commercialism with this kind of degaff attitude makes it pretty exciting, even if it isn't necessarily groundbreaking. So Yeah, overall, I think this is a good movie. I don't necessarily love it as much as some people do. I do think it's still kind of held back by being commercialism, but I do admire what it was going for, and I will take it over most boring, just another commercialized superhero movie. This one actually tried to be different, tried to have a voice, and it succeeded. So it's above average for sure. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I also have an Instagram, which will be linked in the description. I would love support there or support here. Whatever you can do, I appreciate. But at the very least, I appreciate you watching this, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.